Our representatives should be out there screaming at the top of their lungs. I remember one year I went to a Democratic debate and was kicked out for screaming. Bill de Blasio was sitting on the stage and he was debating. I forgot who he was debating, but he said something. And we knew that he never got rid of Daniel Pantaleo, who choked Eric Garner to death. And he had an opportunity to. So you're not going to run for president while you're allowing a killer cop to stay on the force with no consequences. We're not going to allow you to come on this stage and try to sound pretty. No, fire Pantaleo. You're a liar. Why haven't you fired Pantaleo? We got kicked out. But we screamed at the top of our lungs. We made disruption. We made a scene. We let the people know that we were not happy. And that's what we want our elected officials. That's what we sitting out to Washington to do. Let them know that people are not happy. Don't sit there and peacefully coexist and then decide to quietly walk. No, that's not what they do. These people are staging January 6th insurrections to let you know that they're not happy about what's going on. And y'all can't even yell in the chambers and say liar all at once to show that you wasn't happy to what was going on. I don't know what the strategy is because I'm confused with the strategy. Yeah, like I said, regroup. But regroup means sometimes you might have to miss some shit. I would rather none of y'all just have been in that room. Just don't be there. Fuck it. What we gonna sit there and listen to this bullshit? I refuse. Shout out to Maxie Waters. She said, you know I wasn't gonna sit there and listen to that bullshit. That's what she said. Listen.
Everybody.
Can you hear me?
Well, Tamika, hold on, because I
Hold
think
on a
somebody came
second.
in
The
to
queen
reclaim her
has
time.
walked. That's it.
That's
her.
what's going on. Congresswoman Waters.
Hello.
Hello. We heard you, so we thought that meant you were reclaiming your time. So you now have the floor. We want to know why you chose not to participate in the State of the Union tonight. Please tell us why.
Thank you so much, Angela. You know me very well. And you know that I was not about to put up with that bullshit that he was going to talk about tonight. You know that I think he is the most deplorable, dishonest, no good man that I've ever encountered in my life. He has insulted us, he's insulted the American people. He's a sexual predator. He's everything absolutely awful that you can describe in a human being. I've never met anything like him before. Angela, you know, you've been out there in Los Angeles. I've worked with gang members, the Crips, the Bloods, everybody. I've never encountered anybody like Trump. Trump is a person without a conscience. He will lie at the drop of a hat, and he knows that you know that he's lying, but he continues to lie. What he did tonight was, first of all, he continued the lies about all of the Mexicans, all of the people coming from, the countries of, Mexico and Guatemala and everybody. What he talked about was, had you believed that they're all rapists and they're all murderers and they're all this and they're all that, continuing to pump up the lie that he has used as his number one issue to divide and to create hate and to have something that he could point to keep the American people believing that he had to protect them from. So it was pretty awful. And I really did not like the way he used the tragic incidents and the families that were there, who of course appreciated, what they think is their president caring about what happened, to the 12-year-old and to others who were victims. And we all feel sad and bad for them, but he misused them. He misused them. And what he did was he focused on them instead of focusing on the real issues that we're dealing with now and the harm that he's creating for workers by telling them get out of their office by 3 o'clock, by 5 o'clock. You know what that reminds me of? The sundown towns who would tell Black people they had to be out of town by 5 o'clock, before dark. He's still the dishonorable human being that he's always been. It is so sad that we're going through this kind of change right before our very eyes as he and Elon Musk move into all of the agencies and departments of government, shutting them down, firing people, doing everything that they can to basically make sure that this country is ruled by the white billionaires that showed up with him at inauguration time. What he's saying to all of us, we're getting ready to run this country the way that we want to run it. We're getting rid of all these regulations that have protected people in the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. We're getting rid of HUD with all of the money that's going to housing and to the homeless and all of those people in urban areas that don't deserve it. All of those messages for me were continuing messages that he has put forth for a long time, long before this election. But it's not nice to say, but I told you so. When he first ran, I told everybody that he should have been impeached. When we got into it, we didn't do it right. We waited too long. We didn't use the right issues, etc. And unfortunately, we got him back. But let me hear from the other people that you have on the program tonight. Because I could talk about this thing all night.
We have one of your colleagues who has joined you. And she's someone who regularly says she stands on your soldiers. He says, whatever Max says we're doing, we're doing. That is Jasmine Crockett, who chose to go to the State of the Union tonight, but she also chose to walk out. So she's right here. Jasmine?
Okay.
Hey, yes. Right. Listen, for sure. Max is an OG, just like Al Green. I follow their lead. I thank God for them. I really do, especially in this time. You know, as one of the younger members in the Congress, it is so important to have people that are always going to give us a sobering message about the moment that we're in. And as y'all just heard, she did not hold back. She gonna call that motherfucker what he is at all times. And so, and I'm here for it. And what y'all don't know is we both from St. Louis. Listen, we from the show me state, okay? This is what you get out of St. Louis. But I am so eternally grateful because as I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, I was on the phone calling Max and trying to figure it out. And one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to make sure that there was space that was held for us. And if we did not show up, then what they were going to do is just put seat fillers in. And I wanted to make sure that the space that, you know, my ancestors bled and died for, that I occupied that space. But I also got the privilege to walk the hell out of it. And so that's exactly what we did so that he could have those empty seats sitting there and that our messages would be seen. Even if he decided he didn't want to hear us, he was going to fill us in our actions. And so I didn't just want to sit there and not clap, but instead I wanted to make sure that I stood up in defiance and I turned my back on him like he has turned his back on the American people, like he has turned his back on the Constitution, like he has turned his back on laws in this country. That is what I wanted to do. And I wanted the American people to know that while we may not have the numbers just yet, that doesn't mean that we don't have fight left in our bodies. And so I am going to fight him every step of the way until we get what we deserve, because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker.